Hello, Winooski community. This is Adam Hurwitz, one of the high school counselors, and this presentation is designed to introduce to all of you the new and updated graduation requirements for high school, things we've been working on throughout the last year and are excited to roll out to the larger community. This is really just an overview of some of the bigger changes that have happened, but we invite you to reach out if you have any follow-up questions. We do include our contact information at the end of the presentation. And I'm here with
Amy Loomis, and I'm the other high school counselor.
So in this presentation, we will talk about a few different things. First, we'll talk about how the grading changes look and what is this new scale that we're using for grading proficiency. What are the course requirements that all students at Winooski High School are expected to take? What are flexible pathways and how can those opportunities count towards a student's graduation plan? And what are graduation expectations, GXs, and the related GPs or graduate proficiencies?
Students will need to demonstrate proficiency in each course by demonstrating competency and skills with specific learning targets, and their proficiency in that skill will be assessed. Different from traditional education, the goal is not to pass a test, but to continue to demonstrate your learning in a variety of ways throughout the course.
This is the new scoring key. You'll see that we're now using a 4-point scale to represent students' proficiency in those different skills, those different learning targets that Amy mentioned. You'll notice that there are decimal points here and ranges. The reason for the decimal points is that each class will have multiple different learning targets or objectives that students will be scored in. And when all of those different skills um, are averaged together, it will give you an average for the score. So you may see on a um, report card or a progress report that your student received, for example, a 2.8 in global perspectives. That means for that freshman year course, that average of all of the skills they've demonstrated in that course is a 2.8. And our goal is for all of our students to be meeting or exceeding proficiency in all of their classes.
We now have basic course requirements or a pathway to graduation, as most schools do in Vermont and across the country. Every student, by the time they graduate, will have had access to a comprehensive education that will prepare them for the next steps post graduation.
Many students at Winooski High School graduate in 4 years. This is a sample of what courses a student might take to graduate within 4 years. Um, as Amy mentioned on the previous slide, all of these courses would satisfy those course requirements, the minimum requirements that students are expected to take. But those are really a minimum, and we encourage students to go beyond what is expected at a minimum to push their learning and to explore their interests further. Um, it's also important to mention that plenty of students take more than 4 years to graduate from high school. That's completely normal, and it's encouraged in some circumstances. For instance, um, if you're a student who is a non-native English speaker and you spent your first 2 years maybe of high school really focusing on your foundational English skills, you may need another year or two um, at the end of high school to take all of the core required courses for graduation. And the goal behind that is really to make sure that no one graduates from Winooski High School unprepared for the workforce or for college or any other opportunity they want to engage in.
Flexible pathways means students do not need to be in the school building to learn and make progress towards graduation. Students can take a free college course at CCV, they can attend a tech program at either Essex or Burlington, or the student could be working or interning in the community. Students can also supplement their learning by taking a virtual course through VTVLC or Vermont Virtual Learning Cooperative. There's many ways to make progress toward graduation, and that is what flexible pathways means.
So, you or your students have likely heard these terms before if they've been in high school. Um, these are not new to Winooski, but graduate expectations and graduate proficiencies are, in short, they're the skills that we expect students to show proficiency in. And they're the skills that have been identified um, that are really key for students to be college and career ready when they graduate. Graduate proficiencies are the more specific skills that students should demonstrate before graduation. There's 12 of them. For example, there's a graduate proficiency for historical inquiry, for reading and writing, for mathematical reasoning. And students, through taking all of the required courses, students will work on all 12 of those graduation proficiencies. So as long as they are proficient in their classes, they will also meet their GP requirements. And you will see on progress reports that students receive grades for their classes that they take, each individual class, but also what their proficiency level is for uh, every graduate proficiency they're working on.
All students must also capstone in 3 GXs or graduate expectations, one of which must be communication capstone or written and spoken communication. Capstone really means a final project or a presentation of a student's learning in one of these 6 areas. These areas are also referred to as transferable skills or skills that they will need in life.
That's the basic overview of Winooski High School's revised graduation requirements. Like we said, we welcome conversation and we would love to hear from you if you have questions or comments. This is our contact information for the two high school counselors. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to talking to you.